Feel bad for us. We were victims in slavery too. We were victims. We just wanted to love. I just wanted to love Harriet. And I couldn't because she was black and I was white, and the rules said that we couldn't be together. And then there was this bad nigga over here, and he said that he wanted to kill her and all that. Like, shut up. I'm just being honest. What up, everybody? It is your boy Jabbar back again with another video, and welcome to my channel Kakashi Cowboy Reviews, where I do artistic and cultural critiques. Oh, and thank you to the new subscribers. Welcome, new subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. I always respond in the comments. But yeah, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for getting me to 96 subscribers now. Hollywood has done this thing again where it just turns black stories into white propaganda. When in doubt, you know, all lives matter, that hoe. You know, don't tell the truth. I know this one YouTuber named Serena Sensei was like, that I was talking to online, and she was like, on Instagram, and she was essentially just saying like, the director said something about she didn't want to make slavery just black and white. And she was like, well, if it's not black and white, then what the fuck is it? We'll get to that later. I really want to talk about the shift in the trend of this happening. And I really feel like this started to happen around the same time when 12 Years a Slave came out, and 12 Years a Slave won all those awards at the Oscars. And 12 Years a Slave is a movie about Solomon Northup. He was a free man. He was played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. But I actually like Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's a really good actor. I always thought he was a really good actor, so I didn't mind his performance. But Lupita actually, I think, won. And Lupita, she's okay. She's okay. She's a little bit overrated actress, just a teeny tiny bit. She's not terrible, but she's a little bit overrated. I'm just being honest. When 12 Years a Slave came out, it won all these awards at the Oscars, and there was like this really big, it was supposed to be like this really big shift. Like, people were saying, oh my goodness, this is the shift in Hollywood not being so white anymore, and yada 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 yada. And it was just kind of like, no black person, no common black person, no black person I talk to personally, like, that's just, you know, living their everyday lives, other than black people that we see on TV, like this movie. But you know, white Hollywood, they loved it. The movie is about this real life man, Solomon Northup, who was a free man at first, born free. It didn't matter that he had his papers and that he was free. They just threw him into slavery. And he spent 12 years in slavery. And the movie just kind of goes through those 12 years. It's kind of like a brief overview, of those 12 years. I mean, how do you fit 12 years of pain and suffering into an hour-and-a-half movie? You don't. And the whole movie is just pretty much him getting tortured, not only physically but psychologically as well, thinking he's gonna get out, and always thinking he's gonna, like, you know, reach somebody on the outside who's gonna get him out, and then it always backfires. And it's, you know, he's like, at one point he's just like, I'm gonna be here forever, until one day a white man finally comes and rescues him. What pissed me off about that movie is not just the white savior trope that's at the end or that's in the movie. If you're not going to tell the whole truth, if you're not going to show the down, dirty, ugly truth, then that just means you're not ready to face it. And so maybe you shouldn't make it. We get really the rest of his life in a paragraph. How he became an abolitionist, how he helped people on the Underground Railroad, how he did all these things fighting for black people and fighting to end slavery. And like, where is this in the movie? I feel like the movie should have been flashbacks to his time in slavery, and the base of the movie should have been him outside fighting to end slavery. But that's not the movie. That's not the story that, you know, white Hollywood wanted to tell. I'm just being honest. The next one, Selma. Stokely Carmichael is nowhere to be found, and he was kind of Martin Luther King's right-hand man during that moment in time. In Selma, Carmichael was nowhere near. He wasn't even mentioned. It's just kind of like, okay, like, this is just another watered down version. And it wasn't like, I think Ava DuVernay, this is probably one of the best watered down versions of history. Like, she does her best, like, to actually put some blackness, because I really feel like a lot of these black directors, a lot of these black writers, you know, they get handed these scripts by these white companies. in these white studios, and they get handed this money and this funding for these whites from these white studios. And like, there's, of course, I feel like there is stipulations. There are stipulations to that, to them being handed that money. Like, you can tell a little bit of truth, but don't make us look too bad. I'm just being honest. We have Green Book. And we all know the controversy behind Green Book. Green Book is this movie that won all these Oscars. The white guy is kind of the main character and the main protagonist, and he's learning about racism and how it's bad, and he's helping his black friend, or yada yada yada. When really, I think the guy was a hard time racist actually in real life. The guy was like a really, really racist bigot. And also, it doesn't deal with, the movie is called Green Book, but it doesn't deal with the history of the Green Book at all. The fact that the Green Book was created by Victor Hugo Green, who created this book for African Americans, for Black Americans, so they could travel and make their way, when they were traveling, so they could make their way across country and stuff like that. It sort of told you like which towns are sundown towns. So sundown towns, if you don't know, are, you need to get your black ass up out of here by sundown or you're gonna get lynched. But just sort of like black directory in a way that was also helped created by other black people. Like, the movie deals with none of this. The movie deals with none of this, but it's called Green Book. But it's called Green Book. It makes no sense. And then they won an Oscar for it. They won a Best Picture Oscar for telling lies. For telling lies. And Black Panther was one of the most disrespectful. The fact that Killmonger, who's supposed to be the villain in the movie, or they call him anti-hero, it's alluded to that his father, his African father, got radicalized in Oakland where the Black Panthers were. There's Black Panther memorabilia all over, in those first scenes. We see him sort of conspiring with this other guy. I'm not gonna get into the whole plot. Y'all seen the movie. But anyway, his father was radicalized by the Black Panthers, it's also alluded that his mother was a part of the Black Panthers, and that's how he got radicalized. His mother is a Black American. His father is, I guess you could say, what's it called? Wakandan? Wakandan. It's alluded to that Killmonger is a very well-trained military guy, that he did very well. The comics say that he did very well in school. He seems very intelligent. He's not made to be that way. We don't really see any of Killmonger's intelligence come into play into the movie at all. So they downplay his intelligence. They also downplay Black Panther's intelligence a lot as well from the comic versions as well. They're all very smart. They're all portrayed as being very smart black people in the comics. So that all goes away. The only smart person is the black girl, the little black girl, which is just kind of like, I don't understand why there can't be more than one smart black person in a movie. I'm just being honest. But anyway, Killmonger, he has this very revolutionary background, this very Black Panther-like background, this very like, I want to free my people background all over the world. He's a Pan-Africanist. He believes in unity amongst all the diaspora. He believes in solidarity amongst all the diaspora. This is not what he finds in Wakanda. Wakanda's like, we're one nation by ourselves, and we don't give a fuck about anybody else. We do not give a fuck about black people going over here. We don't give a fuck about black people over here. We just care about sustaining our country and maintaining our secrecy and hiding and yada, yada, yada. But, Killmonger is very much like, I care about black people all over the world, and y'all aren't doing enough. I'm taking this shit over, and we're about to go to war. I'm sending out all this technology that y'all been sitting here hiding behind. I'm sending it out to all the black people, and we're gonna have a revolutionary uprising. And I'm gonna free my people that are oppressed all over the world. So this is supposed to be a bad thing. The bad guy that wants to free black people from racial oppression. Black Panther, who wants to just hoard all the wealth and keep it to himself and his country and doesn't give a fuck about any other black people, he's supposed to be the good guy. This is the theme of the movie, and you can argue it or whatever. Please leave your comments below. I would love to hear your rendition of these movies and how you felt about these movies, but I just thought they were terrible. I'm just being honest. So as Killmonger is sending out the troops, they let the white CIA agent in. So the white CIA agent who's been sort of tracking them and monitoring Wakanda and seeing what they're up to all the time, they let him in and they give him, medicine, and they save his life and all that stuff. And so he helps, sort of thwart this sort of revolutionary uprising that Killmonger's trying to do. Like, the fact that a white CIA agent is sitting here thwarting Black revolution, do we not understand the symbolism of that? The fact that literally the guy that is representative of the Black Panthers, because he came from, his mother was a Black Panther, his father was radicalized by Black Panthers, he grows up in the birthplace of the Black Panthers, he is, everything is screaming, he's a Black Panther, he's a, you know, an American Black Panther. You know, everything is screaming that. And so then the CIA agent shoots down his ships to go stop revolution. Understand the symbolism of that. The CIA, if nobody knows it, the CIA was very instrumental in shutting down the Black Panther Party, as well as certain groups in the Civil Rights Movement, and killing a lot of Black leaders, Black American leaders. The symbolism, so to add that symbolism in there into the movie, it's just like Disney did that on purpose. Like, Disney did that on purpose. You tell me they don't understand symbolism? You telling me they don't understand the connection between those two things going on? First of all, we don't see the mama at all. We don't get to see her. We don't get to see his Black American mother. She's out of, even though she's the reason that this whole thing is even unfolding, she is the catalyst for all of this. She is the catalyst for his father. She is the catalyst for him being, as, you know, as being pro-Black as he is. You know, she is the catalyst for this whole thing, but we don't get to see her. We don't get to see really any Black American characters except for the little boys playing basketball in the hood. That's it. And then they're just kind of like, oh, is that a new type of radio or something when they say the spaceship, which is just like stupid. So you're trying to make black Americans look stupid. Like, we just don't know what shit is. We don't know a spaceship when we see one. Also disrespectful to Africans as well. I mean, Patrice Lumumba, the symbolism of Patrice Lumumba comes up at the end. So Patrice Lumumba is, if you don't know, was an African leader, specifically from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He was honestly one of the last revolutionary African leaders on the continent, period. And I know people are going to say, Nelson Mandela, what about Nelson Mandela? Nelson Mandela once was a revolutionary. He stopped being one because he got a check. I'm just being honest. But Patrice Lumumba, he went to the most daring thing he did was pretty much tell white folks to their face, you're not welcome in Africa anymore. Done. He tells them, you're done raping our resources, raping us literally, beating us literally. You're done taking advantage of us. We're taking our land back. This is our country. This is our homeland. And you are no longer welcome here. You're no longer welcome here because you've done enough damage. And you should be ashamed of yourself. This is what he tells white folks to their face in their own country as he visits the UN. Now, fast forward to whatever it was. What was the movie came out? 2017, 2018? Fast forward to that. Black Panther movie. At the end of the movie, what happens? Chadwick Boseman goes to the UN with, you know, Lupita and Denai Guerrero on his side. He's dressed up like Patrice Lumumba is when he gave his speech that day. And he tells white folks what? You're all welcome into Africa now. Yes, seeing the cultures was nice. Yes, seeing the colors and the different aspects of different cultures was nice. Yes, it was nice. But at the same time, you disrespect Black American culture, you disrespect Black American revolutionary culture, you disrespect African revolutionary culture that is anti-white and anti-imperialism and anti-colonialism and anti-white supremacy. You disrespect all of these, you know, movements and these iconic leaders and people across the diaspora in this movie. And it's just sort of ridiculous that people are so caught up in, oh my goodness, the costumes were pretty. Like, what? Who cares? Who cares if they show the culture, if they disrespect the culture in the same frame? Black Panther that we saw on screen is not, I mean, good gracious. Like, he lets the white CIA agent into his country, but his own cousin isn't allowed in? How does that work? In real life, the CIA killed Black African leaders as well as Black American leaders? They're allowed into your country, but your cousin ain't? But people want to tell me this was the best movie they ever seen. This is the greatest black movie they ever seen. Going in with daishikis and shit. I don't give a fuck. Africans then got mad talking about how we was appropriating their culture. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Now let's get into this. Let's go ahead and segue. Types of think pieces on how we disrespected their cultural garments and all this stuff because we don't know the meaning of what daishikis mean and that we shouldn't be wearing them because we're appropriating their culture. And first of all, I'm fine with that. I don't need to wear your shit. Segue this into us playing each other and us appropriating each other's cultures in terms of being on film and on screen. There's this big debate going on right now about Cynthia Erivo and Harriet. And the issue, I don't really have an issue. Like I said, I like Chiwetel Ejiofor in 12 Years a Slave and in other stuff where he plays Black Americans. But at the same time, it would be nice if they got Black Americans to play those roles and they let Chiwetel Ejiofor play people from his country and Black British roles as well. But that's just me being me. But I have no issue with it because he's a good actor and I like him. And I really have no issue with other African actors playing Black Americans as well. Specifically that people have for Cynthia Erivo is that she called us ghetto. She said we were ghetto, and like she always has to play these ghetto characters and these ghetto roles, these ghetto Black American roles, and we talk ghetto and all this stuff. And it's just like, how you gonna disrespect us then want to play us in a movie? Want to play Harriet Tubman? Black Americans have played Africans, Africans have played Black Americans. I don't mind it. But I'm saying that it would be better if you typecast people in these situations. And I know typecasting is considered a bad thing, but when it comes to race and ethnicity, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing to be racially and ethnically accurate. That's fair. And I stood with Africans when they said, and Nigerians specifically, when they got mad at Will Smith. And Black people especially, we stood with Nigerians when they said that Will Smith didn't. First of all, Will Smith did a mockery of the guy who discovered CTE, that a light-skinned, tall Black American man playing a short, dark-skinned Nigerian man who discovered CTE. It didn't make any sense anyway. And we stood with people on that, and we said that his acting was terrible, that his accent was terrible, that he didn't deserve an Oscar. I don't know why him and Jada were petitioning for one, because that sure as hell was a sorry-ass movie. Now, but see, when we say the same things now with Cynthia Erivo, like, I want, a Black American to play, Harriet Tubman. People have an issue. It's like, where's the reciprocity? Cynthia Erivo, if you don't know, is British and Nigerian. Where's the reciprocity? Do y'all know the term reciprocity? Do y'all know what it means to reciprocate? To reciprocate that love, to reciprocate that respect? This is Moses. This is our Moses. This is our Moses. She's important to us. So why can't a Black American play her? People get up in arms. Oh my goodness, you're xenophobic. Oh, were you xenophobic when you said that Will Smith can't play that Nigerian man? I'm just being honest. You want the whole pie. You want to play you and you want to play us. Let's segue into Harriet, the actual film, because the main villain is a black guy. The villain who's trying to put Harriet back into slavery and kill her, or either put her back into slavery, and if he can't put her back into slavery, he's going to kill her, which he tries to at the end apparently. That he's a black guy. We have a black bounty hunter going around chasing Harriet across the country. It doesn't exist in real life. No black bounty hunter chased Harriet across state lines all across the country. Black bounty hunters barely even existed during this time. They were extremely, extremely rare. He also kills another made-up black woman, which Janelle Monáe is a made-up black woman who's supposed to apparently teach Harriet when she gets free how to be a free black woman. First of all, I don't think Harriet needed help being taught how to be free. She looked pretty tough to me. Meme up on my Instagram the other day, which said something like, my niece asked me, why does Harriet never smile in her pictures? And somebody said, cause one shit funny. She wasn't playing no games. She was serious. Tough. She was tough. And so Cynthia Erivo is playing her like she's like this weak little meek woman. People said she's always looking frightened and scared, and she never really has any agency. The only time she ever sort of shows any strength is when she's talking shit to black people, which would make sense because a black guy is made the main villain. He's completely made up. His name is Bigger Long. Watch the movie, so critics who have seen the movie and people who have gone and watched it, who are not critics, they say that Bigger Long, the bounty hunter, the black bounty hunter that is chasing Harriet across state lines, is doing. He says he's doing this. He chases black people. He chases runaway slaves because he wants money for white women. A white owner that bashed her in the head. First of all, they say we don't see, people said that we don't see any real violence of her being bashed in the head, which got her the traumatic brain injury. We don't see that happen on screen, but the owner, who we assume is who is the guy who did that in real life, actually has some type of crush on her or something, actually loves her or something. He does cheat her out of, in real life, cheats her out of her freedom, because I think that in real life, she was supposed to be set free by his father, but then they just say, you know, you're a nigger, I don't care. He shoots the black bounty hunter, kills the black bounty hunter who's about to kill her, so she's able to go free, so he kind of saves her life. So yeah, there's a white savior at the end. Like what you're just making shit up. You literally just made shit. You really just made shit up. You made up a whole character for no reason. And people are upset because it's like, how do you make a black guy the villain in slavery? Come on now. And then they're trying to spin this narrative that black bounty hunters did exist. Black bounty hunters did exist. In a time where Solomon Northup lived. Because remember, I'm going to circle back around to Solomon Northup. Solomon Northup was a free man who got sold into slavery just because he was walking along the street one day. And then they just said, knock that nigga over the head, and they put him in the back of the trunk, and he went into slavery. This black man, this black bounty hunter, has so much agency. He can just run. He doesn't have any white people he's answering to or anything like that. He's just going across state lines with his gun in his hand all the time, chasing Harriet. You mean to tell me this black man is running across the country with a gun in his hand? And no white person ever says, nigga, what are you doing with that gun? Give me that gun and get your ass over here and pick that damn cotton. And Casey Lemons, oh my, what a tragedy. Yeah, I made shit up. She admitted the shit. I mean, you got handed that money by white people. So then they told you, listen, nigga, you can make this Harriet Tubman movie, but I'm telling you right now, we better not look too damn bad. I heard in the movie of this Harriet, they try to make her a superhero. So they don't even deal with the fact that she was beat over the head and that caused her dizzy spells. They act instead like the dizzy spells and the faint spells are her superpower. Like she has a superpower from God where she can see visions into the future. Which she does say in her biography and stuff like that, that she did get visions and signs from God. But the fact that you erase the trauma of where she got that from, the fact that we don't, and that the white man who gave her that is made that, oh, he's in love with her. He's secretly in love with her. Da 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 da. Oh my God. What is wrong with you, Casey Lemons? And if you don't know who Casey Lemons is, Casey Lemons did Eve's Bayou. Casey Lemons, you are the biggest sellout of 2019. And Casey Lemons, like, pretty much what she says is what Kanye said. Slavery was a choice. If a black man has that much agency during slavery must have been a fucking choice. He says in the movie that he's doing it because he wants white women. Serious. We just love white women so much. We just want them all the time. All the time. Give me a white woman. I want a white woman. So you are given a position of power and influence where you can tell a story and uplift black people. And instead you decide to take shots at black men. And you decide to make them the villains and the perpetrators of slavery and what is wrong with the era of slavery. Are you fucking serious? Black men were also getting raped and beat along with black women. I feel like this really did all start with 12 Years a Slave. This all started when white folks found out that they could rewrite fucking history, where there used to be no black movies at all. There used to be no black historical films at all. Now they want to make one every year to try to roll in on their own sympathy and payola. We were victims in slavery too. We were victims. I just wanted to love Harriet. And I couldn't because she was black and I was white, and the rules said that we couldn't be together. And then there was this bad nigga over here, and he said that he wanted to kill her and all that. Like, shut up. White folks are sick. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. It's just too easy to make fun of y'all. See you all next time. Tell me what you think about the movie. Like, subscribe, comment. Subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I'd rather comments than if you liked or subscribed. I don't care. I just care for engagement. I really want to know, like, genuinely what people are thinking. See you all next time. And also, thank you for the 96 subscribers. But yeah, leave your comments below, and I'll see you all next time for the next video. I'm just being